Have you ever thrown yourself into spiritual practice with everything you have, only to find that the harder you practice, the more exhausted, anxious, and empty you feel inside? Have you ever wondered why, even though you recite scriptures, meditate, vow, and keep up a strict schedule, your heart seems to be getting tighter instead of freer? And secretly asked yourself, if practice is supposed to bring peace, why am I getting more and more miserable? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. I am your familiar companion on this road of awakening. Wisdom, cause and effect, compassion, practice, and destiny. Today we are going to talk about something that countless sincere practitioners encounter, but rarely dare to admit out loud: the hidden pain of trying too hard, and the razor-thin line between true diligence and obsessive attachment. The original story we are expanding from talks about those who are very serious in their practice. They recite every day, meditate every day, vow every day, keep up all their routine. Yet inside they are anxious, tense, and afraid. They think that if they slack off even a little, they are backsliding, letting the Buddhas down, or falling into sin. They start to reject ordinary life, feel irritated with family, and see everything as an obstacle to their spiritual progress. The text points out a crucial insight: this is not true diligence. This is attachment wearing a mask. And when attachment puts on spiritual clothing, the suffering can sometimes be even worse than before you started to practice. So today we will walk slowly through this landscape together. We will talk about what real diligence actually looks like and how it feels. Why the mind easily twists diligence into a form of self-minus torture. How anxiety can sneak into practice under the name of progress. And how to gently correct your direction when you discover that your path is turning you into a more nervous and judgmental person instead of a wiser and more compassionate one. We will tell stories, because stories have a way of entering the heart where abstract theories cannot reach. Let us begin with a feeling that many practitioners know but are ashamed to talk about. Imagine this scene. The alarm rings early in the morning. Outside it is still dark. You drag your tired body out of bed, not because you feel fresh and inspired, but because there is a voice in your head shouting, if you do not get up and do your recitation, you are a bad practitioner. If you skip even one day, you will fall back to zero. You sit down in your usual spot. Your back hurts slightly. Your eyes want to close. Your mind is still half asleep. And yet you force yourself to read or chant. The words pass through your mouth, but your heart is numb. There is no joy, no connection, only a heavy sense of obligation. After you finish, instead of feeling peaceful, you feel a little resentful and tired. You glance at the clock and think, good, requirement fulfilled. I did not fail today. One part of you is relieved that the task is done. Another part of you is quietly asking, is this really what spiritual practice is supposed to be? Then the day begins. You go to work or take care of your family. Your child wants to play with you. Your partner wants to talk. Your parents call just to chat. But you are impatient. You feel that everything outside your formal practice is a distraction, a waste of time, or even a karmic hindrance. When family members ask you something, you answer with a tense face. When they suggest going out or watching a movie together, you snap. Do not disturb me. I need to finish my chanting. Otherwise I will regress. Day after day, your face tightens a little more. Your smile becomes rarer. Ordinary interactions that used to feel warm now feel like interruptions. Deep down you feel tired and lonely. Yet you console yourself by thinking, this is the price of being serious. Ordinary people will not understand. One day, when my practice brings results, they will see. If this sounds even a little familiar, I want to tell you gently and honestly, you are not alone. And you are not broken. Many people, when they first encounter spiritual practice and feel its beauty, become very enthusiastic. They vow to be diligent, to never slack off, to push themselves harder and harder, hoping to purify karma quickly and change their destiny. Along the way, without noticing, the ego quietly steals the steering wheel. The pure wish for awakening gets entangled with fear, pride, comparison, and insecurity. Practice, which started as a path to freedom, becomes another cage. To understand this more clearly, we need to look at the difference between diligence and detachment. Diligence is a quality of the heart that combines clarity, steadiness, and joyful effort. When you are truly diligent, you practice steadily, not from self-minus violence, but from love for truth. It is like tending a garden. You show up every day, water the plants, pull out weeds, and enjoy watching things grow. Even though there is effort involved, there is a sense of meaning, of alignment. You may feel tired sometimes, but it is the tiredness of meaningful work, not the exhaustion of a prisoner dragging chains. Attachment, on the other hand, is tight, anxious, and rigid. Attachment says, if I do not do this perfectly, I am worthless. If I miss one day, everything is ruined. If I do not follow this schedule exactly, all my efforts are wasted. Attachment is obsessed with results, with progress charts in the mind, with comparing today's state to yesterday's. It uses spiritual tools as weapons against yourself. You end up whipping your own heart with mantras and scriptures, measuring your worth with the number of vows or recitations you can complete. From the outside, diligence and attachment can look very similar. Both may involve long hours of meditation, chanting, reflection, or study. But inside, the energy is completely different. Diligence leaves your heart more open, more compassionate, more patient with yourself and others. Attachment leaves your heart more tense, more easily irritated, more judgmental, more afraid of failure. The tragedy is that many practitioners do not realize they have crossed a thin line. They only notice that life feels heavier, but they blame themselves. I must not be sincere enough. Other people can do it joyfully. I cannot. I am too full of karma. I must work even harder. And so the cycle tightens. Let us step into the story of one such practitioner and walk with him for a while. We will call him Ming. He is in his late 30s, with a stable job, a spouse, and a young child. On the surface, his life is ordinary and decent, but inside, he has always carried a sense of emptiness, a vague fear of impermanence. One day, after experiencing a painful loss in his extended family, he begins to ask serious questions about life and death, meaning and destiny. Through a friend, he discovers Buddhist teachings, the ideas of karma, compassion, wisdom, and awakening touch him deeply. For the first time, he feels that there might be a path that can truly explain his suffering and show him how to move beyond it. At first, his practice is gentle. He begins with a short daily recitation, a few minutes of sitting in silence, and some reading of teachings in the evening. His heart feels warm. He finds himself becoming a little kinder to colleagues, a little more patient with his child. He thinks, this path is beautiful. I want to go deeper. Then his personality traits start to join the game. Ming is naturally conscientious, used to pushing himself hard in school and work. He has always felt that if he does not perform well, he is not worthy of love. When he brings this pattern into practice, he subconsciously turns the teachings into another exam. He starts setting up strict schedules for himself, a certain number of recitations per day, a target number of prostrations per week, a fixed amount of time for meditation, a list of books to finish every month. At first, this structure helps him. He feels organized and motivated, but slowly, the invisible pressure grows. On days when he completes all his tasks, he feels proud and safe, thinking, good, I have not disappointed the Buddhist today. On days when he fails to meet his self-minus imposed targets, he feels guilty, anxious, and restless. He imagines that the Buddhas are marking his attendance like harsh teachers. His family begins to feel the change. His child runs to him with a drawing, eyes shining, hoping for praise. Ming looks at the clock and thinks, if I do not start my recitations now, I will not finish before bed. He forces a smile, says, very nice, without really looking, and quickly moves to his practice spot. The child walks away quietly, confused. His spouse tries to talk about the day, about worries and joys. Ming feels impatient. Every minute spent talking feels like a minute stolen from his schedule. He starts to see family time as a threat to his progress. When his spouse suggests a week, and doubting, he hesitates, not because he does not want to go, but because his inner calculator is already counting how many recitations he will miss. Instead of saying honestly, I am struggling to balance practice and family, he snaps, you just do not understand spiritual practice. These things are more important than going out to play. Little by little, the warmth in the home drops. A distance appears. They feel that the person they love is physically present but emotionally far away, like someone who has put a glass wall between himself and the world. Meanwhile, Ming's own inner state is quietly deteriorating. His body is tired from lack of rest. His mind is full of subtle fear of missing session, fear of wasting a day, fear that if he does not keep up this intensity, old habits will return and drag him back into confusion. At work, he becomes less engaged. Tasks feel meaningless compared to spiritual goals. He starts to secretly resent colleagues who seem content with ordinary life, thinking, they are just sleeping. I am the only one who is awake. The irony is sharp. The more he sees himself as awake, the more contracted his heart becomes. He is less joyful, less kind, less open. His compassion shrinks to those who share his path. Toward others, he carries a subtle sense of superiority, even if he does not say it out loud. One day, after a particularly exhausting week, Ming's body cannot take it anymore. He wakes up with a pounding headache, heavy limbs, and a complete lack of energy. Just the thought of sitting to recite makes him want to cry. He drags himself through the day like a walking shell. That night, while his family has gone to sleep, he sits alone in his practice room. He looks at his altar and, for the first time, feels something like anger. Why am I doing this? He asks inwardly. I have been so diligent. I recite, I meditate, I bow, but I feel more and more tired. My family is unhappy. My heart is not peaceful. Is this really what the path is about? Or am I doing something terribly wrong? He is afraid to voice these doubts to other practitioners because he worries they will judge him as weak or faithless. So the questions spin in his own mind. For several days, he forces himself to continue, but the resistance grows. Finally, one evening, he breaks. He sits in front of the altar, tears streaming down his face, and says aloud, I cannot keep going like this. If this is what practice is, I do not want it. Then, in the middle of his despair, a quieter realization emerges. He remembers something he once read, that authentic practice should gradually make you more gentle, more forgiving, more at ease, even in the face of difficulties. He remembers hearing that if practice makes you more arrogant, more judgmental, and more alienated from your family, something has gone off track. A tiny question arises in his heart. Maybe the problem is not the teachings themselves, but the way I am holding them. Maybe what I am calling diligence is actually attachment. Maybe I have turned practice into another tool to satisfy my ego's hunger for control and perfection. That night, instead of doing his usual long recitation, he simply sits quietly and talks honestly in his heart to the image of the awakened ones he reveres. He says, I am confused. I wanted to awaken, but I have become more tense. I wanted to cultivate compassion, but I have become harsher. I do not know how to walk this path in a healthy way. Please help me see clearly. For the first time in a long while, He allows himself to drop his self-imposed rules for one evening. He does not feel lazy. He feels strangely relieved, like someone who has been holding a heavy stone for years and finally puts it down, even if only for a moment. Soon after, he meets an older practitioner, someone whose eyes are calm and whose presence feels warm and grounded. In conversation, Ming cautiously describes his struggle. He expects to be scolded for being weak. Instead, the older practitioner smiles gently and says, "You are not the first person to fall into this trap, and you will not be the last. In fact, many people who are very sincere fall into it, precisely because they care so much. Let us talk about the difference between a heart of diligence and a heart of attachment." The older friend explains that diligence is like a river that flows steadily. It may curve around stones. It may speed up or slow down slightly, but it keeps moving with a natural rhythm. Attachment is like a rigid pipe. It forces water through at a fixed pressure, and when there is a blockage, everything builds up and then explodes. He says, real practice must include flexibility. Life is not a monastery for most of us. You have a job, a family, responsibilities. If you treat your life as the enemy of practice, you will be fighting all the time. But if you learn to see every situation as part of practice, your heart can relax. Playing with your child can be practice. Listening patiently to your spouse can be practice. Doing your work honestly can be practice. When your heart is aligned with wisdom and compassion, every moment becomes part of the path. Ming listened, stunned. He had always thought that practice meant time on the cushion or in front of the altar, that anything else was at best neutral, at worst a distraction. He had never considered that the way he speaks, works, and loves could also be expressions of practice. The older practitioner continues, ask yourself a simple question after your daily practice. Are you more open or more closed? Are you kinder to the people around you or more impatient? Do you feel lighter or heavier? That will tell you whether your current way of practicing is nourishing your awakening or feeding your ego. Those words stay in Ming's mind. From that day on, he begins a quiet, important adjustment. He does not abandon his formal practice, but he loosens its chains. Instead of obsessively counting numbers, he sets a reasonable baseline and allows himself to adapt when needed. If his child is sick at night and he has to wake up many times, he does not punish himself the next day for not reaching his usual quota. He sees caring for his child as part of his path of compassion. When his spouse wants to talk in the evening, he does not rush to end the conversation. He listens more fully, seeing that every moment of genuine listening is an expression of love and openness, exactly what spiritual teachings encourage. He discovers that when he truly shows up in these everyday moments, his heart softens in ways that formal practice alone never managed to achieve. He also starts to watch his inner dialogue carefully. When the voice of fear says, if you slack off, your destiny will collapse, your karma will explode, you will be punished, he does not automatically believe it. He gently responds, thank you for trying to protect me, but I want to walk this path with wisdom, not with panic. The awakened ones are not accountants trying to catch me missing a session. They are guides who want me to grow in a balanced way. Over time, the tight knot in his chest slowly loosened. He still practices daily, but his motivation is different. It is less about achieving a state and more about returning home to his own heart. His family notices the change. He smiles more. He is more patient. He is less quick to judge others. The atmosphere in the house warms. And perhaps most importantly, Ming discovers that when his practice is less rigid, it actually becomes more stable. Instead of burning himself out in 6 months, he can see himself continuing for decades. This is the essence of sustainable diligence. Now, you might be listening to this story and thinking, yes, that sounds like me. I am so afraid of wasting time that I have turned practice into a duty list. I feel noble externally but lonely and tired inside. If so, I want to offer you a few reflections. First, you are allowed to question your own approach without questioning the beauty of the path itself. Many people secretly fear that if they admit their practice is making them suffer, they are betraying the teachings. But this is not betrayal. This is honesty. The awakened ones never asked you to abandon your humanity. They did not say, ignore your body, ignore your family, ignore your own limits. They taught balance, wisdom, and compassion. If your current way is crushing you, then adjusting it is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom beginning to wake up. Second, notice the difference between guilt and responsibility. Guilt says, I am bad because I am not perfect in my practice. Responsibility says, I see that my way of practicing is causing suffering to myself and others. I will take care of this and find a healthier way. Guilt pushes you into extremes, either killing yourself with effort or dropping everything out of despair. Responsibility finds the middle path, realistic and steady. Third, remember that the purpose of practice is transformation of the heart, not perfection of routines. Recitation, meditations, vows, and other forms are tools. They are powerful tools, but they are still tools. The goal is to cultivate wisdom, compassion, patience, and insight into cause and effect, so that your destiny moves toward more freedom. If the tools are currently being used in a way that hardens your heart, then it is time to reconsider how you are using them. Think of a person who trains their body in the gym. There is a difference between healthy training and self-destructive overtraining. Healthy training respects the body's need for rest. It includes variation and listens to signals of pain and exhaustion. Overtraining ignores all signals, driven by a desperate ego that says, more, more, more. The result is injury. The same principle applies to training the mind and heart. From the perspective of cause and effect, when you practice with anxiety, self-hatred, and harsh comparison, you are planting seeds of anxiety and harshness in your consciousness. Those seeds will naturally grow into experiences that match their quality. You might think you are accumulating merit by pushing yourself so hard. But if the pushing is full of anger, fear, and contempt for others, the karmic picture is more complex. On the other hand, when you practice with a heart of gratitude, gentleness, and sincere curiosity, even if the quantity is smaller, the quality is higher. A short session done with presence can sometimes be more transformative than a long session done mechanically. Of course, this does not mean you should be lazy and do almost nothing while calling it quality. It means you should aim for a balanced, regular effort, but rooted in kindness and clarity. Let us now turn to another story. This time from the perspective of a practitioner who outwardly seems less hardcore, but whose path is deeply steady. Her name can be Lena. She is in her 40s, with a demanding job and elderly parents to care for. She discovered meditation and scripture recitation during a period of intense stress. At the beginning, she'd felt the temptation to go to extremes. She wanted to escape her responsibilities and retreat into practice. But she received a piece of advice early on that became a compass for her. A teacher told her, do not use practice to run away from your life. Use practice to walk more wisely into your life. So instead of drawing a sharp line between practice time and lifetime, she learned to weave them together. She set aside a modest but consistent time each day for formal practice. Some days it was half an hour. Some days it was 15 minutes. When life was extremely busy, she did what she could, without attacking herself. On top of that, she turned ordinary activities into practice opportunities. When caring for her parents, especially when they were moody or difficult, she used those moments to cultivate patience and unconditional love, remembering that they had once cared for her in her helpless years. When facing a stressful deadline at work, instead of spiraling into panic, she would take a few quiet breaths at her desk, silently repeating a short phrase from the teachings to ground herself. When stuck in traffic, she would send silent blessings to the strangers in the cars around her, reminding herself that everyone is carrying their own burdens. Over the years, this way of practicing did not look dramatic. She did not accumulate huge numbers of recitation. She did not post about her routines, but those who knew her well noticed a slow, profound change. She became more stable under pressure, more forgiving when others made mistakes, less attached to praise and blame. Her eyes grew clearer, not constantly burning with some intense zeal, but shining with a quiet, steady light. If you look closely, this is the fruit of true diligence, long minus term, deep transformation, achieved through continuous practice that is aligned with wisdom and compassion rather than driven by obsession and fear. Now let us draw some threads together. If you feel that the more you practice, the more painful your life becomes, here are some questions you can gently ask yourself in your own heart. You do not have to answer them to anyone else. They are invitations to honest self-minus reflection. Ask yourself, am I using spiritual practice as a new standard to judge myself and others? Do I feel secretly superior to those who do not practice, or to those whose style of practice is different from mine? Do I feel that my worth depends on how much I do, how many sessions I complete, how strict my schedule looks compared to others? Ask yourself after a practice session, do I feel more peaceful and kind, or more tense and self-minus critical? Do I carry more warmth toward my family, or more irritation? Do I feel more connected to the world, or more alienated? Ask yourself when unexpected responsibilities arise and I cannot complete my usual practice routine. Do I respond with flexibility and understanding, or with anger and self-minus condemnation? Do I blame my family, my job, and my life for ruining my practice? Or can I see that my reaction in that moment is itself the real practice? Ask yourself, why did I begin this path in the first place? Was it because I loved the truth and wanted to awaken? Or because I wanted to escape certain feelings and situations? Along the way, did I forget my original intention? You might find that simply asking these questions with sincerity already softens something inside you. Because the moment you are willing to see that you may have stepped into the shadow side of diligence, wisdom has already taken a step forward. If you discover that you have indeed confused diligence with attachment, do not panic. You do not need to throw away everything and start from zero. You can begin with small adjustments. Perhaps you can reduce the pressure of numbers and focus more on the quality of presence. If you currently insist on a large amount of recitations every day that leave you exhausted and impatient with others, you might try lowering the quantity to a level that is sustainable and allows you to stay kind and engaged with your responsibilities. Perhaps you can set the intention before each practice session, I am not doing this to impress anyone, not even myself. I am doing this to open my heart, to understand cause and effect more deeply, to become a more compassionate human being. Perhaps you can expand your understanding of practice to include 3 dimensions: formal practice, daily minus life practice, and inner attitude. Formal practice is crucial. It builds concentration and insight. Daily minus life practice is where your habits are really tested and transformed. Inner attitude is the flavor you carry. Do you walk with gratitude or with resentment? With curiosity or with rigid certainty? When these 3 dimensions start to harmonize, your life becomes less split. You do not need to choose between being a practitioner and being a parent, a worker. You become a practitioner as a parent, a practitioner at work, a practitioner in friendship. In this way, your destiny is reshaped, not only in a meditation room but in every field of your existence. I want to share a personal minus style reflection with you here, as if we were simply sitting in a quiet corner talking. Over the years of listening to countless stories from practitioners around the world, a pattern appears again and again. Those who burn too bright too fast often struggle with burnout, disappointment, and even a sense of betrayal. They thought that if they gave everything, they would quickly reach some exalted state. When reality did not match that fantasy, they became bitter and turned away from the path. Those who practice steadily, with humility and self-minus kindness, often look ordinary from the outside. They do not talk much about their experiences. But after 10 or 20 years, you can feel something in their presence, a softness that cannot be faked, a quiet strength that does not need to show off, a deep understanding of the ups and downs of life. They know suffering from the inside, but they are not crushed by it. They know that cause and effect are real. Yet they also trust that compassion and wisdom can gently redirect even a long history of confusion. So, if you are currently in the stage where practice feels like a heavy burden, please do not assume that this is how it must always be. You might simply be in the process of correcting a misunderstanding. Perhaps you grew up in a culture where value was measured by performance, where rest was seen as laziness, where failure was unforgivable. Without realizing it, you dragged all those beliefs onto the sacred path, and now they are squeezing the life out of your practice. The good news is that you can learn a new way. You can learn to practice from a place of respect for your own humanity, from an understanding that awakening is not a race but a long journey. You can learn that true diligence often looks quiet and steady, rather than heroic and dramatic. You can learn that destiny is not changed by short bursts of extreme effort that leave you broken, but by a lifetime of returning, again and again, to honesty, to clear seeing. As we come slowly toward the close of this long conversation, I would like to speak directly to your heart. If you have ever cried alone because you felt you were failing your spiritual path, if you have ever looked at your family's disappointed faces and wondered whether you have become a stranger in your own home, if you have ever thought, why does my path to freedom feel like a chain? I want you to know that your pain is seen, your sincerity is seen, and your confusion does not disqualify you from awakening. In fact, how you work with this very confusion may become one of the most important chapters of your journey. Try, just once, to sit down and talk honestly in your heart with the awakened ones you trust. You do not need fancy words. You can simply say, I want to walk this path in a way that brings more wisdom and compassion into the world, not more tension and pride. Please help me see where I am clinging, where I am forcing, where I am turning practice into another prison. Please show me how to be truly diligent without losing my tenderness. Then, in the days and weeks that follow, watch for small signs. A moment when you surprisingly choose patience instead of rushing. A day when you allow yourself to rest without hating yourself. A conversation with a loved one that feels more open than usual. These are not small things. They are the beginning of a new frequency in your destiny. And now, my friend, I would love to hear from you. Has there been a time in your life when your spiritual practice, of any tradition, started to feel more like a burden than a blessing? How did you notice it? Did something or someone help you adjust your direction? Or are you right now in the middle of this struggle, trying to find your way between genuine effort and painful obsession? If you feel comfortable, I warmly invite you to share your story and reflections in the comments. You might think your experience is too ordinary or too messy to be valuable, but you never know who is quietly watching this, feeling exactly the same struggle, and waiting for a sign that they are not alone. Your words could be the bridge that helps them step back from self-torture and into a kinder, wiser way of practicing. If this long video script has given you some clarity, comfort, or courage, please remember to support the channel. You can subscribe so you will not miss future content about awakening, wisdom, cause and effect, compassion, practice, and destiny. You can click like to help this message reach more people who are secretly hurting on their spiritual path. You can leave a comment to join the conversation, ask question, or simply say, I am walking this road too. And if you feel moved to go a step further, you can join as a member to help sustain this space where we explore the deeper side of life together. Thank you, truly, for staying with me all the way to the end. May your path from today onward be one where diligence walks hand in hand with gentleness, where effort is guided by wisdom, and where every step you take, no matter how small, carries you toward greater freedom, deeper compassion, and a destiny filled with light.
Life gets noisy. Work, stress, expectations. Sometimes we lose touch with the quiet part of ourselves. Bracelet isn't just an accessory. It's a small reminder that you deserve peace. You deserve moments of stillness. You deserve to hold on to your inner balance. If one of these bracelets speaks to your heart, you'll find the purchase link in the description below. And even more auctions available on our channel's shop page. Pick home the one that feels right.